So, um, Sunday, been a sunny day here. I had a football game. Really tired. Just had a really good turnout. My family came. It was a good distraction today. It's pretty stressful. Put me, way outside my normal comfort zone. And about 20 people I had to entertain at the football game. But it was a lot of fun and very tired now. But anyway, I had a friend who committed suicide, and earlier this week, and I didn't find out until a few days later, and they had actually sent me a suicide note a week before, and taking it really hard. It's hard when someone dies, but it's even really much harder when someone commits suicide, especially when they rely on you as their last hope. And that's what he did. He relied on me as his last hope. He even said that. Um, people talk about suicide, and a lot of times people talk about it, don't do it, but a lot of times they do. And it's a tragedy for his family, and who I didn't even know, but now I've been in contact with. But how do you? It's just God. Losing somebody to suicide is just not something I thought was going to happen to me, because I'm still dealing with the death of my grandmother, and I'm still trying to overcome my issues. I was trying to overcome my issues before my grand died, and then that sent me into a tailspin. I was doing so well, and then anyway, I was actually doing better too. And then I found out about him on Wednesday. It was like, you know, he did it on Monday, and it happened, and then he did. I found out about Wednesday. So it's been really helpful that I reached out to the family, and they've been sort of, been talking back and forth. But I do know that not all people that commit suicide go to hell. He did have God, and God knew how bad he was suffering. And I've watched a lot about it, and there's a lot of rhetoric out there about that stuff. But I've been to where he's been, and I had two failed suicide attempts, and I think about it often, but I don't do it because I know there's hope now. I know it'll always be with me, and I always think about it because, well, maybe not always, but and I hate, I'm not gonna, I don't want this to come out wrong, or maybe someone who can understand but I kind of, in a way, envy him, right? So because we're going through a lot of the same things. I'm doing better, definitely a lot better than he was, but I was where he was. I've got bad days, really, really bad days still sometimes, and you know, sometimes it just doesn't feel like life is worth living. And he got out, and there's like this small part of me that envies him and not condoning it in any way. And I wish he hadn't, and he could have got better. I mean, in a month from now, he could be jet skiing with friends. It's people snap back from it that quick. When I found the right medication, I snapped out of it and never thought I could live a normal life again. Um, so through therapy and different therapies, guided imagery, medications or supplements, lifestyle changes, you can get better. My message here is not condoning suicide at all. I know where he was at. I know how bad he was suffering. I get it. I wish he would have held on, and and then there's part of me that it's just all these parts of me, because like I'd wish that I had part of me wishes I never met him. I wish I didn't answer his email. I met him on this channel. Okay, he emailed me. He emailed me for help, and I don't even like to read half of that stuff because it's triggering. It's very triggering to talk to people that are dealing with this stuff. But his email striked me because I was dealing with a lot of the same stuff. I thought maybe we could help each other, and that's why I created this channel. I want to help people, but a lot of times, if, I'm not better. He can pull he can pull you down with him, and or people can do that. And I just cared too much about folks, so I had really, really became friends with him. I really had an attachment to him, because people don't understand that level of, it's not even depression. It's depression, it's anxiety, but it's more than that. It's darkness that you can't do anything. You can't focus. You can't watch TV. Like, I was there. I could not leave my room. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't. And it's weird. It's hard to explain. I didn't have any panic attacks. I didn't have. I didn't even have any really negative thoughts. Well, I did have some, but I was just tired. Like, so mentally, I couldn't think. I couldn't focus. I felt, DP'd again last year. And I had already been through that and I had suffered that shit for 3 years, and found the right med, and I came back, and I was about 90% better, and then death just took its toll on me and caused a huge setback for me. And then anyway, so I was doing better, and sorry about that. I have really good days. The other day I thought I was like 100% better, and then 2 days later I felt like, so healing isn't linear. I know that, and that's what I tell myself. I'm like, okay, it was a bad day, but tomorrow might be a really good day. So I tried to get that into my friend's head, but he was trying for so long. He just couldn't deal with the suffering anymore. He couldn't function. He couldn't watch TV. He couldn't. But I'm not giving people like that excuse to do it, because I was the same exact way as he was. I was him. And I thought about it. I wanted out so bad. And it's not that you want to die, it's that you don't want to live feeling those feelings. And jealousy is the worst thing. It eats you alive. Because of jealousy, you look at everybody else and look, oh my gosh, they're going on vacations, and I can't even watch TV, like. So social media, you gotta stay away from all that shit. You gotta stay away from social media and looking at other people's stuff. The negative stories online about medications. Even if you have some medication damage, stop reading that shit, because it just makes it worse. You can't change it. So it's read it. You need to read positive stories, right? You need to read positive stories about people healing. And I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people who have God. It does help them to keep going on when they're in the worst shape. I mean, I've talked to someone the other day who can't even get out of bed. I mean, literally. And I was there. It's just so bad. I mean, but today I hosted a flag football game with 30 people, and I had a fantastic time, and I felt 75% fine. So, you know what I mean? You come through it. People come through it. But my friend did not. He could not hold on. He said he sent me a suicide note. I mean, gosh. I've written 1,000 suicide notes. Like, I took it half seriously. I mean, what a shit thing to do. Well, no, at first I called him immediately. I took it 100% seriously, but he assured me he made a mistake and he wasn't going to do it. And this guy is halfway around the world. But we Skyped and talked almost every day. What's that? 26 what's that you say? I can't understand that symbol, those symbols, but we almost talked every day, and I really, really, really became friends with him. And then when he actually went through with it, and then I found out, man, oh my God, that's too much for someone, even a normal person, to frickin' bear, let alone someone like me dealing with burnout and trying to recover from this shit. I'm not trying to sound all like, whoa, me. I'm just saying, if you have someone, a friend or somebody that commits suicide, it is hard. I've been crying all damn week. And, but there's hope. So I don't know how, how you guys are doing, but I have other videos that, if you're gonna, if you're thinking of doing it, if you're gonna do it, he swore he would call me. He swore. I said, if you're gonna do it, will you call me? Because if not, I'm gonna call the authorities. He said yes. And, a week had passed before he actually did it. And we talked, every day. And he seemed like he had, it's hope. It's all about hope. He seemed like he had hope, but he hadn't tried hardly anything, you know? There's so many things he hadn't tried yet. But he was getting ready to be put in a mental hospital by his family. He did not want to go. He felt pressured. I'm not blaming them either. It's a tragedy. I mean, ultimately, he made the decision. And I'm not trying to blast him and tell his story. I'm just telling his story because I'm trying to help other people through him. You know, 26 of benzo, very bad. 26. Hold on, what are you saying about benzos? 26 months off benzos? Is that what you're saying? Very bad? Geohaja, tell me what you're saying. I'm very interested. Can you explain what you're saying a little bit more to me? Yes, but anyway, but yeah, he was on the benzos. He was obsessed with the thought that it was like destroyed his brain and all this stuff. I was on benzos for 6 years. Came off them pretty much cold turkey. Took them daily. Went through hell on earth. But I was already in hell on earth before I came off the benzos, so I don't know. I fell into that bullshit. I want to get Benzo Buddies shut down. Like, I'm going to, like, start a thing to get it shut down for sure. But because when I went on that site, I almost, like, wanted to kill myself just because I was like, oh my God, I could never get better because of this drug is, like, the worst ever. But yet, millions and millions of people take them daily and for their whole lives, and they function great. So, I don't believe people should take benzos. I wish that I would have known about them. I never would have took them in the first place if I knew about other alternatives, of course. But I did, and I can't change that. I can't change that. But I got better, and like I was like 95% better, and it wasn't the benzo. I never reinstated. It was my grandmother's death that made me have depersonalization and all this other shit. And that was 6 years after I had quit benzo. So I hadn't taken a benzo in 6 years. And I got so bad that I was going to be hospitalized because of I was depersonalized again. I couldn't function. I was suicidal. I jumped back onto benzos, and within a day I was better, and that was a year ago. So, but then I switched from the Xanax to the Klonopin because I had always only taken Xanax, but I switched to Klonopin, and that shit is like a miracle for me and a lot of people I know. It was I swore I would never ever, I mean, over my dead body, take one again. It saved my life. I'd be dead right now if it wasn't for it. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I came off them before and I jumped on gabapentin, and I didn't really have that much withdrawal. I mean, I did, but it wasn't like I was functioning. I was going to work. I could drive. I do all that stuff. I mean, I had some brain fog, and but I just didn't have all that those horror stories. And I know they're real, and I'm not taking them away from people. There's some people out there, but I think that even if you are having benzo withdrawal, but you're like fearing the benzos on top of it, I mean, it's just gonna add fuel to the fire for sure. I mean, it is. So anyway, I didn't really want to get into benzos. I hate talking about benzos. There's, it's it's such a controversial, topic to talk about, and some people are so twisted up about it. So I don't even get involved in it anymore. But I just want to say it is the hardest thing in the world. Well, one of the hardest things in the world to have a friend commit suicide and send you a suicide note. And anybody else out there that's going through that, I mean, please chime in. He didn't want to do it because he didn't want to hurt his family, but he was suffering so bad every day, and he was trying. He tried to go out. He tried to go to the gym. All the shit I do and been doing. It just wasn't working, and he just couldn't wait. He couldn't wait anymore for help, and I think I just feel like I failed him. Like I should. What should I have done? Like I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you're subscribing, and God bless you guys, and please don't do it because people heal. I mean, people heal every day. I healed. I didn't think I could ever get better. I didn't think I would ever get better, and I wanted to eat a bullet. I'll tell you, I could tell you stories. I could tell you stories. I was so close. That's so close, but it didn't happen. And when I got better, and I was finally sitting there out in the sun, and I just felt like, wow, I have no anxiety, no depression. I'm motivated again, sleeping great. Just felt like a new human being. I was so grateful that I held on. And yes, I'm kind of back in the trench. I'm like halfway better half the time, but that's enough, right? I watch TV, I can watch movies, I play flag football, I run a business. I'm able to drive, to the beach and stuff and do things. I just get tired a lot from all the stress. But anyway, so I'm pretty active, and when I look at some of the other people that are probably on my channel who can't even get out of bed, it breaks my freaking heart. God, sometimes like it's bad, but there's so many people out there that do have it worse. I'm grateful that I can go run, I can go to the store, I can do that. I mean, when I go places, I feel anxious a lot of times. Not panicky, just kind of out of it, spacey. I'm not, I don't like to be like in buildings. I like to be outside at parks, stuff like that. And I feel a lot better in the sunlight. I hate clouds and rainy days and all that, but God bless you guys. If you have any questions, comments, leave them, please. And we'll talk soon, okay? Hold on. What you said, lasts, how long, how long lasts the benzo withdrawal? Thanks for reminding me people actually care about one another in the world. Sometimes I forget. Oh, yeah, man. You know, benzodiazepine withdrawal is different for everybody. And if you are in those forums, it's very difficult. Like one of the biggest mistakes people make is they'll read someone else's benzo story, and they'll think that's them. You absorb their symptoms. Like, don't read it. Benzo withdrawal. Let me give you an example, okay? And I'm not okay. This isn't everybody, so people are like, what? I can't function. I met a guy today. It's actually my psychiatrist's son-in-law, and he came to play football with me. That dude was taking like 6 milligrams of Xanax and other benzos for 4 years daily, like abusing it to get high and shit. on top of other drugs. He has been off a week and he feels amazing. I know he's not everybody, and everybody's not that way, but typically benzo withdrawal, if you do a taper, and you didn't, you do it responsibly. From what I understand, it depends on the person, but it shouldn't last more than 30 to 60 days. But there's a big but here, because if you have anxiety really, really bad, and then you take a med for it and you come off of it, the med didn't cure your anxiety. So you're going to have withdrawal and your old anxiety. So I always say use the med as a bridge and try to find ways, or if you can, to help with the anxiety outside of it. I need it to function and live, or I'd be dead. So I'm grateful and I hate the medication at the same time. So I wish I never took it. And I probably could have gotten better back when I was, 10 years ago when I was given it. I probably could have got better with just simple shit, or used it as a bridge and then got off it. But I had no idea, and I still don't think, like I said, my opinion is, they're not that bad. And I don't know if you're taking how many milligrams did you take and for how long. That's a big factor. I took like 1 milligram of Xanax a day, which is pretty low. And so with some people, my uncle took 8 milligrams of Xanax a day for 9 years, and then he came off. He cold turkeyed and came off and switched to like Cymbalta. And so not everybody has these crazy issues. Actually, most people don't. So you have to ask yourself, how much anxiety is it from reading all this bullshit? How much anxiety is it from anxiety that I already had? So you have anxiety you already had, you have anxiety about reading about it, and then you have the withdrawal anxiety. So you got triple anxiety over it. So you just have to tell yourself that it's going to get better. And 10 milligrams for 7 years of Valium, that's like nothing, right? Valium, 10 milligrams for